What's going on, everybody? My name is Denzel Williams and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the JBL Tour Pro 2, which are the first earbuds to feature a charging case with a smart display. So I've been wanting to get my hands on these for a while now just to test and see if the smart display was a gimmick or if it was something that could be very useful for those out there searching for a new pair of earbuds. But before we get into the earbuds, I want to give you a gentle reminder to go ahead and tap that subscribe button if you like what you see. We've been getting more and more people to be involved in the community, so I love to hear your comments. I love to see you interacting with me. So go ahead and tap that subscribe button so you can be up to date with all the latest videos that are released. So now that we've got that out the way, let's get into it. Now, going into the unboxing of the earbuds, normally with most earbuds, there's not a lot within the box itself, and these are no different. So what you get when you first open it up, you see the charging case, as well as the earbuds within the charging case. You have your USB-C charging cable, and also your various ear tips, which come in a small, medium, and large, and the medium are already attached to the earbuds. On top of that, you have your quick start guide, which kind of walks you through some of your basic steps of how to turn it on, how to use different functions within the smart display case. And also you have your safety guide as well too. But once you get everything out of the box, I think the main attraction is the smart display case. So let's take a look at that. Looking at the case, the first thing you kind of notice is that it is a bit bulky. So that's one thing to note if you're gonna have this in your pocket or, just carrying it around. It is a bit bulky. So, I mean, unless you're gonna have it in a backpack or a purse or, some type of bag of some sort, then that won't really apply to you. But again, if you're planning on carrying this in your pocket, the case is a bit bulky, but it's also sturdy. I think that being able to hold on to it and kind of feel it, it does seem like this was made with a little bit of tender love and care. Now with the smart display feature, with the touchscreen, it is very smooth and responsive. I was thoroughly impressed with being able to tap on the screen and be able to move around about it. And there wasn't any lag or there wasn't any delay. If anything, it was very sensitive. So that's something to kind of, keep an eye out for when you're using the actual touchscreen display. You want to be able to kind of just be careful with it, because I think sometimes you can kind of move around and move it about. But again, with the unlock feature that it has, I think that kind of helps, cut down on unwanted swipes or unwanted movements or anything like that if you have it in your pocket or if you're just, have it in your hand for whatever reason. But again, the actual touchscreen is very responsive, and I think it's one of those things to where it seemed like they took their time with this one as well too, to kind of make sure that this touchscreen doesn't lag, because that was the first thing I thought. I was like, well, this is probably gonna be, very slow or very much like I touch it, it's kind of going, drag along, but that's not the case. Now, I've also heard of a rumor that Apple may be adopting this in their new AirPods, but again, I don't want to, I can't confirm or deny. This is just solely speculation from blogs and as well as other YouTubers who are discussing it, but it could be a thing. I'm just not sure. But again, I do think JBL is kind of going to be the trendsetter, so don't be surprised if you start to see this more often as newer earbuds come out over the next few years. Now, JBL packed this case with a bunch of different settings that you can use to customize your listening experience, and also a few settings that can kind of just help you in your day-to-day. So once you unlock the case by either opening up the case or just tapping the bottom button and then unlocking it, you're able to see the first screen, which is the music controls, which of course allows you to be able to change your music, pause, play, and fast forward. The next screen will be your volume controls. And then from there, you can see the ambient sound controls, which from here you can use to activate your noise cancellation and switch between the two transparency modes. The next screen you see will be the equalizer. Now, for those of you who wants to have a custom experience when you listen to various songs, or if a certain song you want to change the EQ on, you have the luxury of doing so right there from the case without even going into the app. And you can also use your custom EQ that you made from the app, which we'll discuss later, that you can go ahead and preset and use as well too. From there, you'll see a timer, which of course is just a traditional timer. Then the next screen will see the spatial sound controls, which has 3 different modes: music mode, theater mode, and gaming mode. Now, it doesn't track your movement like spatial audio on other devices, but adds more of a stereo effect that makes you feel like you're at a live event. From there, you'll see the screen brightness, and the next screen will be the lock screen wallpaper. Now from here, I thought this was pretty cool because you can set your own personal wallpaper to whatever picture or photo that you may have. And I thought that was pretty cool because now it kind of gives you a little bit more of customization. Even though JBL has already packed it with other ways to be able to customize your earbuds, this just takes it to the next level with being able to put your own picture, whatever you may choose, to display on the case. Now after the lock screen, you'll see this feature called Voice Aware. This allows you to hear your own voice when on a call by routing a portion of the microphone audio back to the earbuds themselves. So you can kind of hear yourself talk as you're talking to somebody else. So the next feature you'll see is Silent Now. And I think this will be super helpful for those who are traveling or just need a nice little peace and quiet when they're at home. Basically what this does is disconnects the earbuds from Bluetooth and turns on the noise cancellation. So you can set a timer that turns the feature on, and let's say for an hour. As soon as the timer is done, an alarm will go off to wake you, and the earbuds will automatically reconnect to the Bluetooth once the timer is done. As we keep swiping over, you can see the autoplay and pause feature if you want to toggle it on or off. And then the next screen will be the notifications and message preview. So here is where you can see notifications that may come to your phone, but it doesn't show you the full message. It may only show you like the first few sentences or the first few words rather of that particular message. And that can come from Twitter, Instagram, ESPN, text message, or anything of that nature as well too. So you can turn this off to where you can have no message that previews, or you can just have it to where you can turn off all of the functions as well too. So either or works, but again, you can turn off the notifications or you can turn off the message preview. Once JBL develops the ability, or another company develops the ability to be able to, let's say, respond similar to kind of like an Apple Watch, where you can kind of respond back to messages with a little quick, text, or be right back, or I'm working out right now, or something like that, where you can customize it. I think that's gonna propel that particular feature further. But again, I think this is in its early stages, and over time, as more of us, as we start to buy it, as we start to use it, as we start to provide feedback, I think that companies will start to listen and start to implement those features into their smart cases. The next feature is Find My Buds, and basically this is exactly what you think it is. It pretty much sends out a tone that is extremely loud, but there's also a button that comes up that says to make sure that these are not in your ear. But from there you can find your earbuds based upon that tone. And then the last particular setting is flashlight. Now, again, I don't know how useful this may be, but let's just say if you're somewhere dark and you need a flashlight and you don't know where your phone is, you can use the flashlight function on the case itself. For me, being able to access those settings outside of the app is definitely beneficial when you're not paired up to your phone. So for example, if you have your laptop and you kind of want to, adjust your listening experience with the EQ, you can do that. And also if you need to use the earbuds in another form of capacity, you kind of have a bunch of different settings, as we've already discussed, that you can pick from and kind of use for as well too. So I think that as far as use cases outside of using the phone, I think it more so pairs up to if you're using a laptop or if you're using some of those standalone features where you're kind of just wanting to zone out. But I think over time, there may be more instances where more use cases can be brought up to be able to use this case more often. Also, when using the case, you do have the ability to answer phone calls as well. So again, if you're not near your phone, or let's say you're doing something else, or you have your earbud case on you, you can answer the phone. But like I said, the odds of you having just your case and not your phone is probably gonna be a little bit slim to none. So again, for me, I don't know how often I would just have the case on me to answer the phone, but it's a cool feature nonetheless to have. With the custom lock screen update that JBL pushed out for the case, I think that's a positive sign in the right direction, to where I think that they're going to start to push more of these updates out. Now, would it be in this particular, first gen case? Maybe, maybe not, but I think again, it's a sign in the right direction. That I think that they're gonna start to listen more to the users and seeing what use cases that we can really use and take it to the next level. Moving on to the earbuds themselves, I think that they are extremely comfortable for me. And I thought that by the design of them, and I thought they were gonna be a lot heavier, but to me, they fit comfortably, and I don't get that ear fatigue over, having them in for about 3 to 4 hours. Normally in most earbuds, my ears start to hurt. So these did not disappoint in that department because I was able to have these on, go through a full workout. Now they did get a little bit loose when working out. So I mean, I don't think that these would be like the go-to for working out. I would probably look into another style of headphone. And I think for me, that's what I'm searching for as well too. What is the perfect workout headphone? But overall, just for listening experience, these are extremely comfortable. Now going into the design of the earbud, it gives off this classic vibe of, you know, a nice, I guess, professional style earbud with the classic dark metal finish on the stem and around the earbud itself. It definitely gives off this nice aura of like, these are made well. Now with the tap function on the earbuds, those are very responsive as well too. Now I would have preferred it to be on the stem just because I've grown accustomed to earbuds that have those functions on the stem, but the ability to be able to touch the earbud works just as well too. Also, the earbuds allow you to pair up to 2 devices at the same time, and you can switch between them seamlessly. So if you do have a laptop and your phone and you want to switch between both of those, you're able to do so. And I've tested this out and they work perfectly fine. Circling back into connectivity, I didn't experience any drops or disconnects when using the earbuds to my phone. For me, it worked perfectly fine. I didn't see any lags as far as using the app as well too. As soon as I open the app, it automatically pops up, or if I have to, I'll just select my particular device in the app and it works just fine. Going into battery life, JBL states that with ANC off, it's roughly 10 hours on a single charge and an additional 30 hours coming from the case. So with ANC on, roughly about 8 hours and an additional 24 hours from the case as well. So these do support fast charging. So it's about 4 hours of use from 15 minutes of charging. So for me, I think that's pretty good as far as my lifestyle of the day to day. Now, when you go into the flights and things of that nature, if you got longer flights or something like that, then that may, you know, cause a little bit of a discrepancy. But I think for me, as far as what I've been using and how I've been using it, battery life is perfectly fine. Moving on into using the app, I think the actual JBL Headphone App, I think that's what it's called, to me is very simple and very easy to use. So when you first get into the app, you see all of the various controls. You'll see your ambient sound control where you can turn on your active noise canceling or your various transparency modes. You do have the ability to go into the equalizer like I discussed earlier to go ahead and set your custom EQ depending on how you want it. Now for me, I'm not a huge EQ guy, but I think that, you know, for someone who wants to have that customizable function and that ability, you do get that with the equalizer. So I think that's a cool touch and definitely able to customize your headphones to be more so a personal, you know, experience for you. So as you scroll through the app, you'll get to gestures. So from there, you can set your left earbud to what you want it to set it to and your right earbud to what you want it to set to. Now for this, it's not as customizable as being able to choose each specific function. What JBL did was give you a group to be able to select from. So from there, you can select whether you want the left earbud to have ambient sound control, volume control, playback and voice assistant control, or nothing at all. And that goes for either side. So again, it's not specifically, I wish you could probably go into and be, you know, like, hey, I just want these specific functions and a little bit more customizable, but the fact that they give you a group, it kind of, you know, is not as bad. As you continue to scroll through the app, you'll see that you'll run across the smart case settings, and from there you can go back into what we talked about earlier to be able to set your brightness, or if you wanted to use a custom lock screen, you can set it there as well too. So the app overall to me is very simple, extremely streamlined to walk you through each step, and I think even where they place everything, it makes sense to where you can kind of walk through and set up every step of the way of what you need to give you a better listening experience. Now going into the main reason as to why you would even think about getting these earbuds, the audio quality is amazing. And I think it goes back into what I've stated earlier with JBL cranking out some high quality products over the past decade or more, and really putting the prowess on being able to customize your listening experience and also providing you long-lasting products. Now going into audio quality, for me, the experience was great. I wanted to insert a clip of me just walking around the grocery store and just to see how the earbuds affect when it comes to talking and seeing how it really cuts out on a lot of noise. So take a listen and let me know what you think. Yeah, currently in a grocery store right now. I'm just testing it out and seeing how things sound. So, not as busy as it would be normally, but at the same time, definitely can give you a good, feel. I'm not yelling, I'm just like talking in like a regular voice. So yeah, definitely give you a good feel of like if these are really, clear and you can hear yourself. So yeah, currently in the grocery store, just walking through the aisles and stuff like that, just to kind of get a good feel of like the earbuds quality. And yeah, so let me know what you think. Now for me, I was definitely impressed because it kind of cut down on a lot of noise, and this was on a busy, Friday afternoon when people getting off work and things of that nature, and it was a lot of movement going on. I happened to find a more quieter aisle to walk down, but it still was definitely one of those where you can fully hear my voice. And I think that is a testament to how good these earbuds really are. With the active noise cancellation, for me, I think it worked perfectly well. I definitely tested it out in a few different scenarios and it did do what it was supposed to do. And I think that for me, if I'm gonna pay for this, high dollar premium earbud, I would want the active noise canceling to be relatively good. And to me, it exceeded the expectations of what I thought it was gonna be in comparison to some of the other ones. Now, would I put it up there with some of the best active noise canceling? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe probably drop it down a little bit of a tier to be like, mid to high range of active noise canceling, but it works really, really well. Opposite of A and C, you do have the transparency mode, which you have the aware mode, which pretty much helps you kind of use the slider to be able to be more aware of your surroundings. And the talk through is supposed to amplify and better pick up voices if you're having a conversation. Staying with the transparency mode, you do have the personal sound amplification, which I thought was really cool because what this does is basically create this super hearing function to where now everything around you is a lot louder. I definitely think this will come in handy. Let's say if you're out in a metropolitan area or if you're just taking a walk and let's say you're not listening to music, but you kind of just want to be, one with nature in a sense, and you kind of just want to hear what's around you. This will basically take everything that you're hearing and amplify it. And it does it in a really cool way. And I thought it was something that was gonna be like, not really worth my time. But as I started to use it, I was like, I think this could definitely come in handy. And you can also listen to music at the same time. It's a little weird to listen to music and have it on, especially on the highest setting, but depending on what you're listening to and how you're listening to it, it definitely creates this, experience to where you can be more aware of your surroundings. So if you do pick these up, definitely take a look at that setting and try it out. Going into the overall listening experience, I definitely think it's a 10 out of 10 for me, because as you start to customize more of your listening experience, when let's say you're just listening to music versus when you're listening to a TV show or you're listening to a podcast, you can kind of tweak and change as you go, and each step of the way, you're able to have a different listening experience. And I think that for me propels these above a lot of other headphones that I may have had over the past few years, because I never really had that kind of customization. Now it can be a bit daunting and it can be a bit, a bit much for those who are not used to it. But I think as you start to take your time and you start to use a lot of those customizable features, I think you'll really start to enjoy the listening experience. Now here comes the question. Are these a gimmick or are they really a good pair of headphones? To answer that question, it's a bit of both. I definitely think the smart display is a great touch, and if I'm going to pay $250 for a pair of earbuds, it having a case with a smart display doesn't hurt, but it's still something I could live without. Now, should the smart display really factor into your decision to buy? Not at all. I think the smart display is very much in the early stages, and JBL took the risk most companies wouldn't. And I also think that JBL may have started a trend in which other companies will follow. So don't be surprised if you start seeing smart display charging cases more often. The Tour Pro 2s are really an awesome pair of earbuds. From the audio quality, comfort, and feel, it checks all of those boxes. I'd recommend these for any user who, for one, has already had JBL products in the past and enjoyed them, because brand loyalty is a thing, and I'm all for you sticking beside companies that have done right by you. And also for those if this is your first pair of earbuds with adaptive noise canceling, or if you're just replacing an older pair and wanted to buy new ones at that Pro earbud price point. you really can't go wrong with picking up a pair of these either. So hopefully that gives you a better understanding of the JBL Tour Pro 2s and if they could be your next pair of earbuds. But as always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and tap that subscribe button. And also let me know your thoughts on these earbuds and if you have any additional questions in the comments below. So until next time, much love, peace.